Okay, so many takes. Maybe this will be the right one. A few years ago, I made a video called Superman, CW's Jobber. All right, and it's one of my most active videos. I thank you all for that. Like, if you're a content creator like myself, and you go to the studio, in your top right corner, you'll sort of do like the top 4 or 5 videos that are most active, and 9 times out of 10, that video's in there. Again, thank you all for that. And it's overdue for a sequel because a lot has changed. It's been addressed, dare I say, rectified. But this ain't about Soup. No. This one's about She-Hulk, and I will call it She-Hulk, MCU's piss break, not a derivative. All right? And I call it that because if you've been to a wrestling event, like anytime, maybe 8 or so years ago and before, then when women start wrestling, somebody would yell piss break, and like I see like a bunch of people would get up and just go take a piss or get something to eat or just talk amongst each other, like, because those matches weren't even matches. They were mostly hair pulling and calling each other bitch or whatever, and they were very short too. There was nothing to watch. You look back at it now, women are just doing it, still on the show consistently. You get Carlos Cena, Britt Baker, consistently. This year, last year, putting on a match of the year. Just beating the shit out of each other. It's fantastic. Like 8 short years ago was the total opposite before things changed. Alright. That's, and She-Hulk is being treated like a piss break. And she's not. Not at all. She-Hulk, she's not the main event just yet. She's more like mid-card level, which is the middle of the show. Alright. Main event's that's pretty self-explanatory. The mid-card is the middle. Alright. That's where she's at. People are treating like it's a piss. She's not a piss break. Alright. People are literally pissing on her too because, you know what? I don't even know why. Like, everybody anti-men, burying men. It's not at all. It's the opposite, if anything. Alright. Even Dick Collier, dude, she defends. Of course, ripping him a new asshole, but she defends him. Nonetheless, alright. She defended Abomination. Despite his history with Bruce, she still defended him when he broke out of jail. She still defended him, That's who she is. That's who Jennifer Walters is. She-Hulk is, the true her, but we're not there yet. She-Hulk right now is just an extension of Jennifer Walters. Alright? And people were acting like she's like burying Hulk or no. And to bury in wrestling terms means to go into business for yourself to help your opponent, right? Make them look bad. That's what it means, to make them look bad. And she's not doing that to Hulk at all. Alright? Again, it's the opposite. Because I don't like the Hulk at all. But I think he's alright in this. Still not going to like the Hulk, probably ever. But he's okay here. It's because of that relationship between the two. And the way he, encourages her, but still, messes with her. Gives her shit. Like, it's like with me and my cousins. That's exactly how it is. That's why I like him. Like them, I mean this relationship. Not Hulk. But yeah, and if you really, like, somebody did the math, I think it was Black Nerd, about how many bad men versus good men that are on the show for the first 2 episodes, and there's only like 2 or 3 really true bad men. The rest were good. There was a bunch of them, And aside from episode 3, there was no real female agenda, Me Too. There was none of that. And they did that because either they knew it was coming, or they're just embracing what's being said, and commenting on it. Either way, that's smart. This show is smart. People are missing that point because, what? We just met her, and Bruce has been around for all these years. Exactly, Bruce has been around for all these years. If we know about Bruce's family, his upbringing and everything. Hulk 2003 is boring as all hell, but it's in there. His mother is fuck his father. Ugh. Yeah, that's why he's angry, going up with that dude. And he had a whole show himself back in the 70s and 80s with movies in the 90s. Like, yeah, TV stuff. We know who Bruce is. If you want to act like the MCU is the end of it, no, there's other stuff out there. We don't know that much about Bruce, but don't go past the show for no reason. Alright? And in the whole fight they had, people were like, well, if I was still, people was going to be pissed. No, because it wasn't like when Supergirl fought Superman on her show, her cousin, okay? He didn't turn around and kiss her ass when he beat her and say, oh, you're Earth's protectors now. He didn't do that. Like that, yeah. But that's not this at all. And even as someone who doesn't like Hulk, it was obvious he was holding back. It was obvious he was learning as he went. She can't thunderclap like him, so I said, so she did the small ones. People were saying, why is she better? She's not. She's different. Like the show said, she's different. Alright? Goodness. And the whole thing about her talking about the whole monologue, which I loved. I don't know how to watch her monologue from the first episode where she's transforming and untransforming, what she goes through, the whole having to watch what you say and check your, people complain they must not know what that's like. Alright? As a black man, I know that feeling quite well. Here's the story. So, a few years ago when my dad was still around, he one night was rushed to the hospital. My mom was like, you go to the hospital, your dad was just rushed to her, and it was late. So my siblings and I went up there from work or school, wherever we were, and we went up. When we went up there, we did see a big old group of people. We'll circle back around soon. You know what was going on, but we found a parking spot, ironically next to each other. We went in to see my dad. All right, and when we were leaving, I went to go take a piss. So did my sister. I was gone not even 2 minutes. I come back, I'm instantly in Big Brother mode. I see them talking to a cop. I'm like, what did y'all do? It wasn't even 2 minutes. What happened? And then ever so calmly, one of my brothers, who was also an adult at the time, one of my adult brothers, he was like, so we were standing here waiting for y'all when the kind of officer walked up and started talking to us about what we saw when we got here. Apparently there was a fight. He was just asking us if we knew anything about that. I'm just thinking like, oh, yeah, no, we don't know about that. We're seeing our dad. And the cops questioning us, like questioning us, not even really low key. And it's like, well, I was making sure the guy didn't jump anyone or get jumped. And it's like, you didn't, did you? We're like, no, we didn't jump anyone. We didn't get jumped. No, see, if we got jumped, we would have looked it, right? No, how we looked was tired because it was late at night and this was random. Relieved because our dad was okay. And elated because, again, our dad's okay. And we got to see each other. We're never, it's very rare we're all in the same place at the same time. So if we were fighting over the remote, having a good time, our brother's trying to flirt with the nurse, it was great. That's what we looked. We weren't, we didn't into all the junk at all. If we were talking to the cops, he was being officer friendly, and he even was so nice enough to walk us out of a side door. He was like, yeah, I just want to keep you all safe. We're like, okay, thank you, motherfucker. And we second to close that door, my youngest brother, who was a teenager at the time, 15, 16, he was like, I'll keep it real. Y'all wasn't here, I would have said something. We're like, no, you would not have. What we did in there, what you did in there, being silent, keeping a consistent tone, answering the cops' questions, even when he repeated them, that's what you do. You do not give them a reason. They can already get you for 2 days for nothing. Don't actually give them a reason. And we got real. You're a young black male. They already got eyes on you. Don't Back there suspicion is true. All right. We taught him a lesson that day. Prime example of us not saying what we really thought. All right, and we really had thoughts, but we didn't say it. We checked that shit. All right, so I understood when she said that, having to not say what you really wanted to say and check that. Oh, I get that. I get that. You know, I got plenty of stories like that. I really do, but that's like the one really clicked when she said that. Now, as for her being a derivative, I mean, that's why I wore this shirt. My Xena Warrior Princess shirt. Because on the surface, she looks like a derivative. She seems like a derivative of Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, the show she spun off from. And they're both tall, good-looking brunettes with short, good-looking blondes as their sidekicks. And they do good and help others. And have both changed their ways. Here's the difference, though. Hercules was a dick who didn't respect women and had to be taught so by the Amazons, okay? And also Hera kind of kept murdering his family, his kids, his wives. And so he was pissed off at first. In the first couple, he was pissed. Like, he wanted to murder Hera. So by the end, when instead of murdering her, they all would hug it out and have a big family reunion. I was like, that's development. Xena, on the other hand, she debuted as a villain, as another warlord on Hercules. But then she began to realize that this really, what am I doing? Like, this isn't good. Which led to her own show. And her path, hers was about redemption for what she did. Hercules just started wanting to murder her for a long while. Like a long while. And like beyond that, he couldn't have been just a knight. Like, he was more Superman-like. Alright, and Xena, her path to redemption, she was at first still kind of that warlord, but really trying hard to be better than that, always just being so hard on herself, and Gabrielle was like her light, keeping her on that path. Aeolus is Hercules' companion. I mean, you know the story of Hercules. Was Aeolus there at the labors? Nah, he wasn't. And they were like, I think they were brothers in the mythology. Point is, Hercules and Aeolus were real close. Best friends. Aeolus was there most of the time. Gabrielle never left her side. And they were soulmates. They said as much. To the point where Xena got pregnant for the second time towards the end. And I was like, you're pregnant again? Who's the father? And without hesitation, she said, Gabrielle, who went. You know. Or like, ooh, okay. Like, it was a whole different kind of relationship. And you saw it kind of early on. Alright. How incredibly protective she was of Gabrielle. Like, at the start of Hercules, him and Aeolus are established warriors, fighters, and everything. Xena, she's just an established warrior and fighter. Gabrielle is not. She has that development. Or she becomes into her own as a fighter. Towards the end, love her like it, she's kind of sort of set up as the new Xena. Okay? Different, completely different. Like, Hercules was more fantasy. He dealt with, like, the Greek gods, everything. That's his family. Xena sometimes had runs with them, but she did more grounded work, redeeming herself. I mean, she most prominently dealt with Ares. That's the whole thing. Alright, but not really until us the other ones still towards the end when they threatened her child. And she pulled the Kratos and started murdering gods, okay? Different. Towards the end, Xena murdered gods. Towards the end, Hercules forgave. That's a hell of a difference. Alright? Not a derivative. She-Hulk's not a derivative of Hulk. At all. If she were, I wouldn't like her because I never liked the Hulk and I probably never will. Ever. Okay? Hulk is just this big green angry dude who to me isn't all that interesting. He's just not. He has all these people inside of his head, like 100 different dudes vying for control, including a literal devil. Like Kazuya Mishima from Tekken has direct control over his devil gene. His devil form is a devil gene. And that's why you can play as him from like Tekken 5 onward. You can, like in the transform way as a whole other character, like a transform. Officially, unofficially, Tekken Tag Tournament back in 2000. Okay, Hulk still didn't have that control. at all. He's been around a hell of a lot longer. She-Hulk doesn't have that. It's just Jennifer in there. She can't go away if she's pissed enough, but that's just part of the territory. All right? That's the difference. That's why Hulk was so perplexed at first. Like, oh, this is different. You know? Nobody's better than anyone. Not at all. She's still learning. He was just observing and also learning about her. Okay? Nobody got buried here. In wrestling terms, that means made to look bad. I didn't see that in there. From Hulk didn't look bad. She-Hulk didn't look bad. In any meaning of the expression. Okay? Nobody did. So I don't get all the hate at all. Alright? I've seen so many, in defense of She-Hulk videos, and that's what this one started out as. And I guess I'm kind of doing that, but that's not what this is. This is me explaining what the show is to me, and why I think it's a good show. I don't believe I'm qualified to make one of those videos because I'm not, a woman. And there's one about Jess over at FictionalDarling, her video. She goes over her experience, like I just did, about and how they related to what She-Hulk's going through, like I just did. All right, but her, damn, like what's the stuff she's been called, and damn, like what? I'll put it down below in the description. But yeah, that's kind of what got me started wanting to do this video. That, and I keep seeing them in defense of She-Hulk, I'm like, oh, hey, that's great, but I'm still seeing more. The show is awful. Don't watch it. Blah, 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 blah. The core ring that did a video on it. I'm like, oh, okay. I got nothing against the core ring. Don't know him. I did used to watch his videos, but I don't think like he does. Two different, like completely different on basically everything, and that's fine. That's fine. He can do what he does. It's all good. But yeah, that popped up. I'm like, oh damn, okay. My goodness. People are review bombing this, so I honestly don't know why. I'm trying to figure that out. People like Captain Marvel. Brie Larson got all the shit when that movie failed. It wasn't on her, it was on the writing, really. The fact they deviated from the plot. Alright, from not the plot, from the source material in the comics, which is weird because that'd make a really good movie. It'd probably do so much for somebody going through that, through addictions and everything, PTSD and shit, like the shit Carrot Davis went through. They came out on the other side. That would be great on screen, but no, they went and did whatever that was. Where was Marvel? I don't blame Brie Larson at all. And Ms. Marvel, I'm hearing mixed things about that. Either the kids who don't get it, or either the kids who, I don't know, don't want to, I don't know, like either the kids who don't understand what's going on. What I was trying to say, either the kids who are unfamiliar, or the adults who just don't want to get it. Like older adults who just don't want to understand. This generation are calling it a word I don't use because I don't understand woke. I even heard it for She-Hulk. I'm like, oh, what does that mean, really? It means you don't get it. You can't deal with it. It's I don't know that. I don't get the word. But I'm hearing that about Ms. Marvel. But I'm also hearing good things. And the good things that make me want to watch. I haven't sat down and looked at it. I don't know. Also hearing it gets pretty heavy, pretty dark. I would understand that given where she is, what she has to go through with a woman over there. I understand that. And She-Hulk isn't that. I think it's not a problem. It's not all dark and Marvel consistent. They don't really do that. They have a good balance with that. She-Hulk is just really, really good. At just being light, but also like addressing real issues without doing what it's been accused of and being heavy-handed. Because just anything but. All right. Like again, the FictionalDarling, she's like all this out. She explained it better than I can, because again, I'm not qualified in that area. No, yeah. I just don't understand, man. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's really it. Like, you ain't gonna see me watching, you know, Annihilation. Probably never again. Like, you ain't gonna see me watching, like, the new Lord of the Rings. That ain't my thing. Okay? You're not. I'm not. Tried years ago. Didn't work out. I couldn't get into it. So this new show, does nothing for me. Nada. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, this show is ass. Gollum looks like shit. You know, should have waited till George R. Martin finished it. I'm not gonna do that. No. Just gonna let people enjoy who enjoy that. Okay? That's just really all I'm trying to say here. Alright? Like, oh, yeah. She's not a derivative. Just like Batwoman's definitely not a derivative of Batman, her cousin. Supergirl, kinda sorta. Kinda sorta. She-Hulk is definitely not. She's the total opposite. That's why I like her. Just like Batwoman. Just like Xena Warrior Princess here. Not derivatives. They might have started helping someone else, the famous cousins, or Xena's case, you know, her enemy turned lover turned friend, but they are not the same people. They don't have the same motivations. They don't operate the same. Okay, they don't think the same or anything like that. You need to stop with that. Hulk's fine. Okay, Hulk's fine. Goodness, this could really, really be so good if it goes the distance, so to speak. Because She-Hulk, my goodness, like reading the comics was so fun. Watching the show could be so fun too. The first 2 episodes were, the third one, but yeah. Just watch something else if you did this bug by it. That's all. Thank you for watching. She's not a piss break.